my name is Eileen Hull. I'm a designer with Sizzix, and I'm so excited to be here today at Scrapbook.com. I'm going to share with you one of 3 dies that are Thinlits that coordinate with another die, the card Caddy. They are only available here at Scrapbook.com. So the name of it is Starlit Village. Let's take a look at it. Okay, well let's take a look at the Starlit Village and card panel die. This is really cool because it can be used, as all of these dies are, in conjunction with everyday kind of vibe or a holiday. So I love the look of these silhouettes of the village, and then there is also a card panel inside the die, and this will lay right inside the card caddy, and it does a nice little mat, and it's already cut. The other thing that you can do with this piece is you can lay your card panel on here with the fold inside the cut line, and you can create a beautifully shaped card that matches your card caddy. I love houses because, well, for one reason, we were in the military, so anywhere we went was home, so I've always kind of loved that house symbol. So here are some of the other dies. You have single ones, and you can use them on top. You know, you can mount them on in a different color, or you can use them separately. Even just one piece on a card would be a nice little icon, and then with, you know, there's no place like home or something underneath. Really cute for any kind of occasion. We have the stars, a moon, so we can make this into like a whole little scene. There's also a sentiment. It says warm wishes, so that can be used, you know, mostly at the holidays, but if you wanted to letter best and then cut the wishes, you know, that could be used for like a wedding or something like that. So again, you can cut these out of many materials. This here is the Sizzix texture roll, and I think that adds kind of a nice little glamorous touch. And I like how this is kind of an ombre look with the dark in front, and then medium, and then light, and then with the stenciled flower or stars and moon. So we're gonna do something that is kind of a little different that will stretch the value of this die. We're gonna make a stencil, and we're gonna stencil that on the front of our card caddy. So let's get our supplies out and go to work. You ready? Okay, so what we're gonna do in order to make this stencil, let me just show you what it's gonna look like. I think it's a really cool effect because you're making kind of a shadow in the background, and you're just using this one piece of the die. So I'll show you how we're gonna do that. I'm using a piece of double-sided adhesive as my stencil. I just find that it's the right depth and weight for me, but use whatever you have. There's all kinds of stencil material out there. Okay, so I'm just taking one of my houses, and I'm going to lay that on here and roll that through my big shot. And you're going to keep both pieces and use them both in this stencil. I'm going to run it through twice because I want to make sure that all of my pieces are cut out of the front and back. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, very good. Okay, so this we're going to use as our base silhouette. And then we're going to poke the little pieces out of here, and I'm not going to do them all. I have another piece ready to go that I have already used. So you'd want to clear out all the windows, the star, the little trees. All those pieces should be cleared out of here and ready to stencil. All right, well, let's get going with the stenciling. Let me show you what I cut. We have the 2 house silhouette pieces, so I've cut one of each and punched out all of the little negative spaces, and then we also have the piece that is the stars, and I've laid that on there a couple times and just kind of filled in the sky because I don't know where exactly that's going to land in my sky. So I have plenty of stars available. I don't have to do them all, but they're there. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to stencil the outer shape, and I'm going to do this upside down, so forgive me if I make a mistake, but I'm going to lay this here because when I fold this up, you know, this you want facing up this way. So I'm going to lay this down here, and I'm just going to place that over the bottom part of the die and center it. okay? Then I'm going to take an ink, whatever color I decide. Now this is the color palette that I've chosen for this idea. I made a bunch of cards that are in this similar palette, so I'm kind of customizing it to work with my cards. So that's what it's going to look like. I also did the sides. You don't have to, but when we put this together, you know, it kind of wraps around. So that was my thinking on this project. So my main color is this beautiful turquoise color. So I'm going to use my largest brush. Now you can use other tools if you want, and if that's what you're comfortable with. I'm just going to brush off a little. I don't want it too harsh. You can always add ink, but you can't always take it away. So with my brush, I'm going to go around the edge just softly, and then you're going to think that there's nothing here, but when you lift it up, you'll be surprised. However, that is a little lighter than I want, so I'm going to go ahead and add a little more ink and just keep adding that and blending it as I go around the outline here. It takes a little while to do this shape, but you want it to be big enough to notice, or dark enough to notice. Okay, and it's okay if this one is the darkest, because after this, as perspective goes on, it's going to get lighter and lighter. Okay, so let's just do this. And you see I did too much over here, so just try to keep an even hand. It's really pretty though, this soft effect. I'm keeping my hand on here, but you could use some of the Scrapbook.com mint tape, which I have, but I'm not sure where it is right now. So I would probably use that on here to tack this down so it doesn't move while you're stenciling. That's why I'm just using my hand. Oops, that's way, way darker, but don't worry, it's still pretty. You're going to have other things on here. You're going to have the outlines of your windows and things like that. The main thing I want to show you is the technique, okay? So now let's unveil this. Isn't that pretty? So if you want, you can go in and do more, but let's just keep going with the background. Now I'm going to take the one that is the other piece, just so that it's a little bit different, and I'm going to place that behind it. And this time I'm going to do it a little bit lighter. So I am going to go ahead and kind of test that. And you can move that. You could go halfway over or move it around however you like that effect. And just go in a little bit less dark. Maybe a little bit more, although that gets me into trouble sometimes when I say that. Really, when you're done, the overall effect is what you see, not these little details. But look at that, now you've got another piece in behind. Now the other thing you can do is you can flip it over, and that's going to give you a whole different look. So let's do that here. So I'm going to do a total of 3 layers just for the sake of the video, because I want to show you how to do the stars too. And this could be a little darker. I just don't want to take the time to really go crazy here. But you get the idea, and you can, again, make this as dark or light as you like. Okay? So there is our kind of tiered background. And then the other thing that we're going to do, and you can do this whenever, there's no really right or wrong as far as timing or you know, what you do first. I used a kind of a glitter gold here for the stars, and I have a little gold brush, and then I'm just going to hold this here. Now I can see that there is a part of their shading here, so I'm not going to do my stars over on top of that, because that would be a house, and I just want this in the background. So I'm going to randomly go around and add some stars. You can make your sky pretty full or just add a couple, whatever you like. It does look kind of glittery. It's pretty. So I'm just kind of working my way along the sky. All right, that's not very many, so you can lift it up and put more if you want. You can't have only 5 stars. And these are small, medium, and large, so that's fine. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do to fill in the detail is I am going to take the stencil that I started with, but I'm going to take the inside piece. And I'm going to do this in a different color. So I'm going to do this in green, and the reason I've used these tiny brushes is because I don't want this to go outside the lines at all, and you can see how small and how close they are to the edge. So I'm just gonna go in here, I'm gonna hold it down, and I'm gonna stencil on top. That's a little dark, but that's okay. And just try to stay right on the windows. Now I'm gonna make my little heart red, so I'm gonna, or pink I guess. And, you know, just go down and do the rest of these windows. And, all right, let's see what that looks like. Isn't that cute? And then let's just do our heart, and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like when you finish, because you don't need to really see the rest of this. You kind of have the idea. So I'm just now getting my red on my brush. Gonna line that up and do my heart. Just be careful not to go off the house. Isn't that adorable? So I would repeat this on the other side. I would fill in my stars a little more and probably go ahead and do the sides. That is optional, you probably wouldn't notice that, but that is how it works. And let me, oops, wrong one. So let me just show you how the finished one works. If you want to see how this is assembled, you can go over to the video where we show how to work the card caddy, how to assemble that, and you can go over and see the full assembly. But basically it's very easy. You just score on these lines here, and then you score your lines up. You put one here, whoops, one over here, you know, of course you're folding on here. And then you've got your little card caddy. It is adorable, and you can put cards in here, you can put like gifts, hot chocolate, a little journal, whatever it is that you want to give with this. And I think this just adds a lot of personality to your project. All right, are you ready? This is my favorite part. This is where we go through and see what some of my amazing team has created. Now, she took the die and went right around the bottom to decorate this pretty box. We have the little card, the houses on the cards. So this is like a little mini slimline, and she used the, it's this like a foil with the stars, which I think is really cute. She took the extra houses and bumped them up and also doodled on them, which I think is a really cool idea. I wouldn't have thought of that. My friend has added, look at this. I mean, this is a journal. She added all kinds of ephemera inside, but I really like how this pops out. It's 3D with like all kinds of mixed media effects. Really cool. Here is another one. I like this box too because this is done with foiling, so you can add adhesive and just tap your foil off on here. And this piece, the Warm Wishes, I think, yeah, we did talk about that, but you can add that anywhere. So I think, and then she made matching cards, which is really pretty. So here is a layout. You can use them on there to decorate around the edge. She used the Warm Wishes, the houses, and made like a little circle and used the flowers too. So she used them in combination with the other dies. Here is, look at this one, little 3D houses. How cute is that? With the little snowflake on the front. I love it. Here is also a shaker card using the little houses, and just fun. And a couple more. Be ready. The front is beautiful. It's 3D. Look at this. Tunnel card. How is that for amazing? So I hope you were inspired by these makes. Definitely get some of these and let us know how you're doing with them over at the Scrapbook.com gallery. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you got some inspiration and ideas watching these different videos. Please go and check them out. There are 3 other videos besides this one. And don't forget to share your makes over on the Scrapbook.com gallery.